to the Wharton session at MBA Spotlight. My name is Chris. I'm your host, and it's my pleasure to introduce Abby Behrens at Wharton. We'll begin with a quick overview of the program, and then we'll open up for Q&A. Feel free to put your questions in the Q&A section and upvote. And there's also the chat. Okay. Let's see. I'll turn it over to you, Abby.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris. Hello, folks, and thank you for joining us today. I know there's a lot of schools at the event today, so I'm honored that you took some time to get to know Wharton a little bit. As Chris said, my name is Abby Behrens. I work in the Office of MBA Admissions at Wharton. My title is Associate Director of Admissions Marketing and Communications. Half of my role is serving on our full admissions and evaluation cycle. And then half of my role is also managing the marketing that comes out of our office. So if you're on any of our email lists, we might already be friends and you just don't know it yet. But I'm excited to spend the next 45 minutes or so with all of you. I'm going to go through a quick set of slides for about the next 10 to 15 minutes. I have a colleague, Kate Croft, in the chat who is going to be managing some of the questions that come in during the presentation. So please feel free to keep dropping them live. And then with the remaining 30 or so minutes at the end, I'll be taking your questions live from Chris. So excited to get to know you all a little bit more. So like I said, the goal of the next 10 to 15 minutes is to just give you a high level overview of the Wharton MBA program. I'm sure a lot of you have been doing some research on your own, but we just want to present you with some of the best kind of things coming out of our program and what we're really excited about here. So first, just to run through some quick stats from the class of 2026, our first year MBA class on campus. We had 866 enrolled students. The class came to about 47% women, 53% men, 31% international students. And we're really focused on building a diverse student body here. Truly, our students come from a wide array of backgrounds, experiences, and it really lends to a quite dynamic learning environment on campus. I'm going to kind of talk through 4 pillars today quickly. We'll cover academics, leadership development, student life and community, and careers at Wharton. So leading off with academics, the Wharton academics experience is truly all about your choice. You are welcome to explore and choose your own academic path here and really tailor your experience to your personal and professional goals. So we really have a flexible approach to academics, and we really feel that that distinguishes us from some of our peer institutions. And truly, caliber of our classroom setting is really unparalleled. Our academic offerings are, again, truly flexible and engaging. Here are some of the ways of learning that we have on campus on the screen. We want you to find the courses and the learning options that are really best for you here. And your academic advisor is going to be your partner in figuring that out. When you come to campus, your academic advisor is kind of the first person on your team of advisors that will carry you through your MBA here. And they can really help you lay out your academic plan. If there are classes that you want to get into in other areas of the university, they are your best advocate. They're really, truly working in tandem with you to get your best academic experience here. Just to cover the curriculum briefly, our curriculum has a unique structure offering a lot of academic rigor and flexibility through a blend of core courses, electives, and specialized majors. The core curriculum is broken into 2 types. So you have your fixed core and your flexed core. Your fixed core is your foundation of business knowledge, and you'll take most of these classes during your first semester with your cohort at Wharton. And then the flex core ensures that all Wharton students gain a broader understanding through these 8 business topics. For each flex core requirement, you choose not only what courses, but when you want to take these. So you'll be starting to diverge from your cohort when you get into the flex core classes. And we do give students the option to waive out of some of these classes based on your previous transcripts or work experience. Here are 21 majors that we have in the Wharton program. Um, and a lot of courses count towards more than one major, which gives you the option to double major, which honestly, over 50% of our students choose to do. I've even heard of some students choosing to triple major. Um, but again, that's just to give you a sense of the flexibility of the program and really how interdisciplinary it is. Um, the majors that are highlighted with the yellow gear are our designated STEM majors, and that gives our international students the option of a STEM OPT extension. And we have three new majors that were introduced in the last 2 years: our DEI and ESG majors that turn, coursework and classes that we already had into a formalized curriculum, just to you know, uh, acknowledge the rising relevance in those areas. And within the last few months, Wharton has announced its AI and analytics initiative, which we're really excited about on campus. I'm happy to talk about that more. But they're currently working on our newest major, which will be AI and analytics, which we expect to have on campus for fall of 2025. And then with your electives, students can choose from over 200 electives. Some of those will count towards your major, but you will have room to take some chances and explore some new topics. And in addition to traditional electives, the academic calendar includes block weeks that are scheduled at several times throughout the year. And during these block weeks, students can explore unique programming, both credit bearing and extracurricular, that would not be otherwise available during the semester. We also offer some unique variations to the standard MBA through our dual degrees. Our integrated programs are all available on campus here in Philadelphia. The Lauder MBA MA in International Studies and Carey JD MBA with Penn Law are integrated into the MBA curriculum and allow you to earn both degrees in less time than you would if they were taken separately. And the MBA in Healthcare Management is one of our 21 majors, but is by application only. Interdisciplinary programs are also available on campus with 9 other Penn graduate schools or off campus at Johns Hopkins or the Harvard Kennedy School. Our semester in San Francisco is another popular option in the Wharton MBA experience. This offers students the chance to explore entrepreneurship and technology in the Bay Area. Students can apply to this program in the first year to be one of about 70 students in that cohort who spend the entire fall semester of their second year at our San Francisco campus. The San Francisco campus is about a block away from the Bay Bridge and just a short drive from Silicon Valley. And about a third of the SSF cohort choose to take semester long internships and get a head start on local recruitment opportunities. And then, in addition to the courses out in SSF, students can join guest lectures, career treks, and even join on weekend courses with our San Francisco based executive MBAs. All right, now we're going to transition into talking about some of our leadership programs here. I'm just going to touch on these briefly, but again, happy to answer more questions about these after the slides. But we do place a strong emphasis on leadership development and helping students get a deeper understanding of themselves, their organizations, and the communities. This is all housed within the McNulty Leadership Program. So I encourage all of you to do your own research and get familiar with that program. But that helps students develop the tools that they need to adapt their leadership styles through action, reflection, and experience. And a few examples of programming in McNulty include the Leadership Ventures, which are some of our most popular experiences at Wharton. They allow students to step out of their comfort zone, kind of exceed their personal limitations, and experience the leadership firsthand through some kind of trek. These stretch experiences range from one-day intensives like our Quantico military simulation to up to 10-day backpacking adventures in Patagonia. Another example of McNulty's programming is the Nonprofit Board Fellowship, which matches MBA students to the boards of nonprofits in the greater Philadelphia area for about 9 months, where they serve the role of a visiting board member. Students gain valuable experience while supporting the mission of their partner organization. So if you are focused on community development, really great option there. And then the last one that I'll touch on quickly is our executive coaching feedback program. This is a 6-week coaching program available to all MBAs in their second year. You're matched with an executive coach. You meet weekly, and it's really designed to kind of give you tangible ways to change your leadership style in real time, whether that's through your classes, your communities, clubs that you're involved in. Really, really rewarding experience there. Now we're going to touch on student life and community again, just briefly, but there's so much that we could cover here. We know that your MBA program can be equally rewarding and a challenging experience. So we really place an importance on balancing academics with physical, emotional, and social needs. The MBA student life team really enhances this experience by serving diverse needs and fostering community, and helps students navigate Wharton and Penn resources and extracurriculars. The majority of the ways that students really network here and find their community is through our student-run clubs and conferences. So we have over 150 of those organizations on campus. And these clubs span from industry clubs, cultural clubs, career interests like consulting club, um, the African American MBA Association is one of our largest clubs on campus, Coffee Club, Youth Mentors Club. Truly, whatever interests you, there is a way to get involved with like-minded students at Wharton. And our clubs and conferences are overseen by the Wharton Graduate Association, or WGA, which is the student government at Wharton. All right, last kind of major pillar here that we'll cover is careers. So the culmination of your personal development and achievement at Wharton is finding your post-MBA role. And we are here to help you truly at every step of the way. Wharton's career management team is dedicated to connecting students with a wide range of employers and providing all the resources and training necessary for you to have a successful recruiting experience. So I mentioned your academic advisor before. Your career advisor on campus, again, they serve in your board of directors. They're again going to be kind of your best resource to making sure that you're getting the opportunities that you want, that you are on track both from an academic standpoint but also a networking standpoint. They'll really guide you through the recruitment process, but the more contact and the more information that you can give them, the better that they can serve you. Career advising is also offered for 24 different industry pathways at Wharton. Each of them have their own specific action plans, timing, and processes for recruiting. Most of the industries that you see here on the slide have a dedicated student-run industry club. And the career advisors that I just mentioned work closely with those clubs to create and deliver career education, and help prepare students for a successful recruiting experience. So you have the Office of Career Management that have a dedicated staff person working in each of these industries. And then you also have the student clubs that are kind of working on the ground, for a kind of more grassroots networking experience. And at Wharton, we put some definition around the two most common scenarios that we see for recruiting. Mature recruiting is structured and it's efficient. These are the companies that have a steady annual demand to fill roles. There's an established process here for when companies come to campus. We follow a very similar calendar. We know what their deadlines are for recruiting, and there's a condensed timeline here. The MBA Career Management team really helps these companies connect with students and build out recruiting schedules. Enterprise recruiting is different. These companies tend to have an inconsistent demand to fill roles and a smaller number of open roles, and kind of more just-in-time hiring and recruiting. But again, the Wharton MBA career team, they know when these opportunities are coming. They are the ones who are connected to these companies, and they, again, are there to coach you through either recruitment path and truly advocate for your candidacy. I'm just going to hold this slide here for a moment. This is a snapshot of some companies that hired 2 or more members of the Wharton MBA class of 2023. We'll be publishing this data soon for the class of 2024 who just graduated in the spring. What I like to call out here is, yes, there's a lot of, household names here: PayPal, Amazon, Capital One, Walmart. But what I like to suggest that students take away from this is that there are Wharton alumni working at all of these companies. So when you kind of think about what your post MBA plans are, um, think about networking. We'll talk about alumni in just a moment, but we always like to say a Wharton alumni will always answer the call. So if one of these companies is what you kind of see in your post MBA plans, don't be afraid to Google Wharton alumni working there on LinkedIn. Ask them about their experience. Ask them what they did throughout their MBA, because you can really start that network at any time. Some employment statistics. Again, this is from the class of 2023. 2024 career report will come out soon. 97% of students seeking full-time employment reported having job offers. 712 unique employers hired at least one Wharton student, and 11% of those companies hired 3. And our median salary for WG23 was $175,000. While lots of students come in prepared to recruit for roles, there's a growing number of students that spend time working on their own company instead. Our venture lab makes this possible by providing mentoring, workshops with experts, and over $1.5 million in available funding. Throughout the 2022-2023 school year, 26 first-year students worked on their own venture, and 39 second-year students chose to launch their own company instead of recruiting for full-time roles. And even if being a founder isn't in your goals and your plans, but you still want to get involved in Wharton's entrepreneurship community, Venture Lab offers resources for students who want to explore, join, and invest in startups as well. It's a really growing and exciting community on campus. And all of this is housed within Tangen Hall. This opened its doors in 2021, so it's a fairly new building on campus. And here you'll find Retail Lab's pop-up storefronts for student retail ventures, a food innovation lab, some design studios, and maker labs to help support students in fabrication and visual marketing for their ventures. Tangen Hall has a partnership with Wharton, Penn Engineering, and the Stuart Weitzman School of Design to consolidate Penn's startup ecosystem, and it is currently the largest student entrepreneurship hub in the world. Here is just another snapshot of some common Wharton MBA startups. All of these were developed on campus at Wharton, and we're quite proud of their trajectory. I'm sure a lot of these are becoming household names as well. I'm sure there's someone on the call who has Warby Parker sunglasses, or someone who carries a Dagny Dover bag. So again, Wharton is a really great place to launch that startup and really get the resources that you need to make a successful company. All right. So at Wharton, you'll be joining the largest alumni network of any business school with over 100,000 living Wharton alumni. Alumni connections can really open doors to future careers, mentorships, and just other opportunities. And Wharton alumni really are an integral part of the MBA experience and are true advocates for student success. Like I said earlier, our alumni really live in this pay it forward mindset here at Wharton. So they're always ready to connect with you, chat with you, help you along the way, even right now as you're a prospective student. They truly want to see you succeed here and post MBA. All right. Couple of logistics, and then I'm going to open it up for Q&A. But how you truly get started here is our application process. So just to cover some deadlines, round 1 deadline has now passed. So our next upcoming deadline is round 2 in January 3rd of 2025, round 3, April 2nd, 2025. And then for anyone on the call who might be a current undergraduate or currently in a graduate program, our deferred admissions round is for you. Those are students who are currently in their final year of study who are looking for a guaranteed pathway to the Wharton MBA. where you will apply, be admitted, but have a guaranteed 2 to 4 years of work experience before you decide to come back and earn your MBA. So if you are currently studying, definitely encourage you to consider that option. Just a couple ways to stay connected with us. Our MBA website is where we post new events, stories. All of the information is there, including our application. We keep everyone updated with deadlines and student stories on our Instagram account. So that is the best social media platform to connect directly with us here in admissions. The Wharton School manages a big LinkedIn page where we're constantly publishing stories about the whole Wharton community. I want to call out our admissions fellows. This is a group of 55 students that works with us in admissions, and they're ready to take calls with you. You can find them on our website at that admissions fellows page. You can filter that page by career interest, current Wharton majors, clubs that students are involved in, and truly talk to someone who you kind of have a lot of similarities with. But you have access to their Calendlies there, and you can schedule a 15-minute call. So they're ready and waiting to talk to you. And then lastly, our general email is the mba-admis@wharton.upenn.edu. And that is all from me. I'll continue to hold this slide up here just so everyone can jot these down if you are interested. But at this time, Chris, I think I am ready to take some questions.
Great. Let's see. I'm gonna put up the question real quick. So we'll do that. Let's see. Okay, Sadie is asking, is there any app fee waiver? If yes, how to apply for it?
Yeah, so we offer waivers just for some unique circumstances. Like there is a military fee waiver. That's the only formal one that I think I know of. I know Kate's probably in the chat correcting me, but the best way to apply and get information on that is to email that MBA-admis general line, and we can help you there.
Great. Thanks for answering that. And then let's see, we're going to Thesia is asking, Wharton tracks a highly ambitious applicant pool. What's something that might help an applicant stand out beyond traditional metrics like GMAT scores and GPA?
Yeah, great question. So truly, when we are reviewing applications, it's a very holistic review process. We do have those traditional metrics, GMAT, GPA, but what we learn most from your application comes from everything beyond that. So whether we're looking at your community experience in your extracurricular section, that starts to tell us, what your interests are, what you want to be an advocate for, things that you're passionate about. Of course, your resume, that's where we get to really get a sense of what you're working on at work, what your strengths are. Your letters of recommendation are a huge insight for us just from an outside perspective. And then your essays that's kind of where we have all of this knowledge that we've just read in your application, and then we get to hear from you, and we get to hear in your own words what you hope to do here at Wharton and what you hope to do post MBA. So the way that we kind of design our application is, yes, we're intaking that kind of demographic information, but we try and on the actual application page, we want you to use those form boxes as much as you can. That way that you can open up space on your resume to tell us more in those bullet points about what projects you're working on. Give us some data. If the company that you're working for isn't a household name, or you're working for a startup, or you're creating your own company, just give us a little background about that on your resume. If you can include a link, we love to see that. So truly, we're trying to intake more information in our actual forms and give you more space in other areas of your application to tell us more things about yourself. And then I always like to call out the optional essay, which gives you the area to just tell us anything else that you might you don't think you've captured before in your application. So that's a high level kind of overview of the ways that we look at your application outside of just those traditional things. But in terms of, some qualities that we're looking for folks who are um, collaborative in their community, folks who might be taking on some mentorship roles. Again, I kind of mentioned in the presentation that we have a big pay it forward culture at Wharton. So we're trying to understand how you might serve that in the MBA community, but different areas of your application. Our learning experience is highly collaborative. You're working on teams almost constantly. So we're trying to get a sense of who you are in a team setting. We get to know that in your application, but also through the interview process. But in just a couple high level bullet points, those are some attractive qualities to us.
Great. Let's see. And Sally is asking about how do the scholarships vary from round one to round two?
Yeah, so we in round one and round two, we pretty much have the same scholarships available. And it's all kind of determined by our financial aid team. Any scholarship that would be available to you is given to you at the time of your acceptance letter. And unfortunately, we do not negotiate those offers. So anything that we do have available, we lay that out as soon as you would be admitted. But from round one to round two, it's pretty much the same pool of money. Round three, it does get a little slimmer, just depending on how many people we've already admitted into the class. But round one, round two, really no difference.
Sure. And then Zero is asking if you were to describe Wharton as a person, what kind of person would Wharton be?
I love this question. Wharton as a person, I think would be someone who is very open-minded, someone who's willing to learn from others, and someone who is willing to take risks and experience new things. I think those are kind of the two, when I think of a Wharton student, those are kind of the biggest qualities that I think about. Like I said, our community is incredibly diverse. You're going to be taking classes with people you probably would have never networked with if you were not here at Wharton. And that's, diversity of your experiences, diversity of thought, diversity of career experience. So we really value the open-mindedness of our community members, and everyone is truly here to watch everyone succeed at the same time. It's not a competitive atmosphere. The mindset is really how can we get from point A to point B together, and everyone's constantly trying to help each other out. That was a great question. I'm gonna remember
Yeah,
that one.
yeah. I remember seeing it and just wanting to ask it right away. Okay, so I'll mark it as answered, and then see. Oh, so this is Muskan. He's asking, does a 3-year undergrad from India with a 2+ years work experience qualify for the MBA program?
Yeah, my question for this candidate would be, is it a 4-year program? So are you currently in year 3 of 4? You might be working throughout your undergrad, which is totally cool, totally fine. But we like to see the work experience post MBA. So if you're currently in year 3 of a 4-year program, we would like to see you complete that program, work for a couple years, and then apply for the MBA. But if you've completed that, if you're only in a 3-year program, you've completed it, and now you've done an additional 2 years of work experience, absolutely you qualify for the MBA program. If you are currently studying, like I mentioned, our deferred admissions round, that would be the course that I would suggest that you take right now. As that would, you'll go through that application process. When you find out if you're admitted, then you have that guaranteed 2 to 4 years to go and get some more work experience before joining the MBA class. Probably a good time to call out here that there is no minimum work experience requirement for our program. Our average for each class kind of lands around 5 to 6 years work experience, but we're not looking for a minimum or maximum of folks coming into the program. having a few years of work experience under your belt will make you a more valuable candidate, and a candidate who's going to be able to contribute more to the MBA classroom.
Great. Thanks for that thorough answer. And we're also getting a question. Please do tell me about the most common mistakes made during application or interview process.
Okay, I'm going to start out with maybe some obvious ones, but we see them all the time. So I think it's important to call out.
Mhm.
Number one, proofread your essays, proofread your application, because typos, we see them all the time. And I'm not just talking about like grammatical typos. We know that you're applying to many different schools at the same time. Um, I read a lot of essays that are for the Stanford School of Business, and it's a great essay, but you didn't take time to tailor it to Wharton. So again, I know we have a lot of common threads with all of our MBA programs, and you're going to be inputting a lot of the same information, but just take the time to make sure that you're answering questions for Wharton specifically. Um, I think to kind of take that deeper, when you think about your essay questions, again, truly reflect on if you're answering those questions. The first essay question is we're going to ask about your personal career plans. And then our second essay question, we're asking how you would be a valuable member to the Wharton community. So make sure that those questions both sound like you. My best suggestion is to one, read them aloud and make sure that the duration of reading them aloud kind of falls within that, maybe like a 2-minute answer. Because part of being a good business leader is being able to be concise and to get your point across. So take the time to reflect, make sure you're answering those essay questions, make sure they sound like you. Share them with trusted people, trusted colleagues, mentors, friends, and family, again, just to make sure that it sounds like you. And a lot of times we tend to sell ourselves short, so those are the people that know you best, and they can kind of point out some areas you might have missed. Our interview process is unique. It is a group interview. You will be signing on, they're all virtual. So you'll be signing on with a group of 6 candidates, and you're given a prompt, and everyone comes in with different responses to the prompt. And then you have to work together as a group for about 30 minutes to come up with a final recommendation for that prompt. And that's, we understand that it is a unique experience that can be kind of overwhelming, but truly all we're trying to get out of that process is just to see what kind of team member you are and how you interact with others. Again, going back to that learning experience at Wharton, it's supposed to feel very much like a classroom setting at Wharton. So there aren't a ton of mistakes that I tend to see, because again, we want you to come in as organic and true to yourself as you can. But do kind of like spend some time reflecting on how you show up in meetings at work, what you value as a team member, kind of before you come into the interview. That was a very long way to answer that question, but I think it covered it.
Yeah, great. Thanks for the details. Let's see. And Shostflat is asking, are there any core high-level values that Wharton would like to see in our applications?
Yeah, just to kind of go back to those same themes that I've been talking about, we want to see kind of how you collaborate with others. So a lot of that will come through in your extracurricular section, where you kind of tell us different communities, organizations, if there's any leadership roles that you've taken within different organizations. We start to tend to see that there. Again, calling out on your resume different teams that you work on, if you have any people who report to you, if you are involved in any employee resource groups or mentorship opportunities at work. We love to see that. I think people kind of underestimate how truly unique each application tends to kind of be. Um, so kind of the more that you kind of just show us of yourself, the more that we're gonna really be able to kind of see how you would serve the Wharton community. And again, I'll repeat that it's very open-minded, um, in, intuitive, people who are really trying to make this place better than when they left it. I just heard a student describe the Wharton community as being genuine. So again, just like staying true to yourself throughout the whole application process, I think is kind of my best advice and truly what we're trying to look for too.
Great. Thanks, Abby. Mm, Okay. This has the number of upvotes, and Dranny is asking what type of scholarships are given to international students.
Yeah, so we don't have any specific scholarships available to kind of any groups of students at Wharton. This is a great question for our financial aid team who are ready to network with you individually. You can find their contact information on our website, but they're the folks who they review every application just like we do, and they determine how much money to give students for a variety of different reasons. So, um, just so I don't misspeak and I don't share any wrong information because I'm not really involved in that process, I'm going to kind of just leave that answer there and encourage anyone who's interested in scholarships to network with our financial aid team.
Thanks, Abby. Let's see. So this is asking, Lindy is asking, is it possible to open more coffee chat sessions? It's hard to get a slot.
I'm glad everyone's so interested in our coffee chat sessions. They are we host a ton of them. They're all student led, and we are currently trying to open more sessions. But we kind of after the winter break, we'll host more in the spring. So if you're not seeing opportunities that are available to you right now on our website, just hang tight. More will be opening up in the spring, and then we host a slew of summer coffee chats as well. So thanks for the interest, and stay tuned.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thanks, Abby. Oh, and Son Luke is asking, does Wharton focus on case-based, traditional, or other learning approaches? It sounds like you can
Yeah.
go more in depth there.
So honestly, kind of just like a mix of everything. You will have some traditional lecture-based classes, a lot of case studies, a lot of simulation-based learning. It truly like there's kind of no one true like pathway to the classroom experience at Wharton. A lot of that we talked about the fixed core classes. A lot of the fixed core they're kind of like your like 100 level classes when you were in undergrad. Those will be probably more lecture based, but once you start kind of get into the flex core and into more of the curriculum based on your major, it's going to be a lot of teamwork, a lot like I said, just kind of those non-traditional learning approaches, but we do have everything here. I will say, I'm pretty sure that all of the learning is conducted in person. I don't think that there are hybrid aspects to any of the classes anymore here. And that's, we're asking you to come to campus for 2 years. It's a full-time MBA program. So getting that in-person networking and just that kind of experience in class is important to us.
All right. Yeah, thanks. We're at 5 minutes and we have a hard stop, Abby. So
Cool.
let's
Thanks for the
see.
questions,
Sounds like
everyone.
yeah. Do you want to try one more question?
Sure.
Okay. Let's see. Well, let's see. Okay, Yash is asking how will the application impact if we use AI to prepare our essay?
Great question. Um, So we don't have any kind of like formal policy on if you can use AI or not. Again, AI is a big focus for us here at Wharton. So we understand that everyone's kind of using it in their work and in their daily life. So we're not going to tell you not to use it on your essay. I think it's a great tool to get some ideas on paper and to brainstorm and to get started. But again, we want to make sure that the application feels like you and sounds like you. So if you use AI, you start to use Chat GPT, just take the time to make sure that you're putting your personal touches on that information. Make sure that it's relevant to your experience, relative to what you want to do. We can tell when it's just a AI based answer because they become quite generic. So again, we're looking for that specificity, but we're not going to tell you not to use AI, but we do take into consideration um, how you might be, altering that and using it to your advantage.
Great, great. Thanks. I think that's close to the time we have. Just that one last one.
Awesome.
So yeah. So thank you everyone for joining. And any last minute words, Abby?
Yeah, thank you again for just being a really attentive audience. Thank you for all the questions. I know Kate's probably been in the chat, really rapid fire answering for you all as well. So thank you to Kate. I hope to stay connected with all of you and hope to hear from you soon.
All right. Take care, everyone.